Hello. This is one of my favorite parts of the week where I get to sit down and have a conversation with you. I love this so much. It makes me so excited, which is why it's on my calendar every week that we're going to have this conversation. Well, not this particular conversation, but a conversation together. So today we're going to talk about why 98% of people's plans fail. Yeah, this is a big one. When I read this statistic, I was a little bit shocked that 98% of people fail because of their plan. And initially I was like, oh, that seems really, really high. But then I started to think about it and I realized that this number is actually probably pretty accurate. Because if you think of it, how many times have you started something and not actually finished it? I know I'm guilty of this. There are absolutely projects around my house that I have started and not actually finished. There are things that I have started, like writing a book, and not actually finished, right? There seem to be a lot of things that we start and don't actually finish. But I don't want that to discourage you, because there are some things that we start that aren't fully in alignment and then we don't ever finish them because they weren't truly in alignment, right? And so I don't want the 98% to discourage you. But what I do want you to spend some time thinking about is, if it's really important to you, if you've made it a priority to lose weight, to grow your business, to quit your 9-to-5, to have a better relationship with your partner, to whatever it is, if you've made this claim, essentially, like you've put it out there and you were like, this is what I want to do this year, have you actually put together a realistic plan? Now, the reason I say realistic is because some of us don't really take real life into account when we make this plan, right? So let me give you a prime example. One of my sisters was like, oh, I'm gonna run a half marathon last year. And I was like, oh, that's really awesome. What does your training plan look like? And she was like, I'm just gonna go out and run. And I was like, right, but what's your training plan look like? Because you've got to build up to a half marathon. You can't just go and run it unless you're actively running those things, right? That just doesn't work. You're going to do a lot of damage to your body if you're like, hey, I haven't run in 4 years, but I'm just going to go run a half marathon. Like, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to build it up. And so for me, what I love to do, and this is kind of a superpower, I will take someone else's plan and make it my own. Now, this saves me a whole lot of trouble, and I'm not reinventing any kind of wheel whatsoever. And I'm also making it very realistic to me. So for instance, I don't know if the book is up there. It doesn't look like it. So I have a book that's called The 12-Week Triathlete. And it is a book full of different training plans depending on the length of a triathlon that you would do. And I loved this book. 1, super easy, all of the information's there. 2, it has plans for different distances, makes it a no-brainer, right? So what I did was I flipped to the distance that I wanted to compete in, and I looked at their plan. Now, their plan, some of it felt really intense. And I was like, whew, I don't know about that. They had a long distance day on Sundays, and I don't really like to run long distance on Sundays. I like to just hang out on Sundays. But there was a rest day on a Monday, and I was like, well, I'm not going to rest Monday. I want to work out on Monday. So what I did, instead of being like, well, shoot, that plan's not going to work, I just can't do it because I don't want to run on Sunday. That's what trips up a lot of people, is they see the plan and they go, well, that's just not going to work for me, so I'm not even going to do it. But what I like to do is I will look at the plan and I'll say, okay, based off of this 12-week plan, What is actually currently feasible for my life right now? If I were to start this program this week, what would my training schedule look like that I can do my best effort at this training schedule, at this plan? And if I were to start it this week, let's say I would do my brick workout, which is a bike into a run, which tends to be a longer workout. I would do that on a Friday because I generally have more time on Friday mornings to get that done. Or I would do it on Saturday while my daughter's at soccer, right? Like, based off of that plan, I would adapt it to my personal life. And this is the superpower, because so often we hear and we see somebody doing this, right? They'll tell you, hey, this is exactly how I lost 50 pounds. This is exactly how I scaled my business to $100,000. This is exactly how I made $1 million today, right? Like, whatever it is, their exact plan is probably not going to work for you. And it's not because that plan won't work. It's because you have very different lives, right? So somebody who scales their business to $100,000 from $0 to $100,000 in 5 months, they may be working 60 hours a week and doing a crap ton of TikToks. That's not feasible for me. I will not sacrifice my kids' basketball, soccer games, whatever it is, to get there faster because I know I'm going to get there anyways. So I'm going to get there on my time, maybe a little bit slower than her, but I'm going to get there on my time with a plan that works without burning myself out, which is the key here, right? You don't want to burn yourself out because then you're going to resist starting anything new because you just got burned by the last thing that you started. And so when it comes to someone's business strategy, right? And I know these things because I failed at them initially, right? I was like, okay, well, this person grew her business this fast and I'm going to do exactly what she did because I want to grow it that fast. And it didn't land. It didn't work for me because it was not feasible for my current life. I was overdoing it, burning myself out, and then being resentful of the work that I was doing on my business, which is not where you want to be, right? So I like to equate people's business strategies to your favorite pair of jeans. Okay, stay with me on this one. So when it comes to your favorite pair of jeans, right? If you're like me, you're like, you know what? I am going to wear those jeans on Friday because there's a date night and I love the way that those jeans fit me and I've got the perfect shirt for it and all the things. And those are they're your jeans. Like, you think about when you're going to wear them that week because you know how fabulous they make you feel. This is your business strategy. Your business strategy is that favorite pair of jeans, right? And maybe your girlfriend's like, oh my God, those jeans look so great on you. Where did you get them? You're like, oh, I got them at Banana Republic. They were on sale like 4 years ago. I got them for like $20, totally worth it, right? And she's like, oh, well, I can't get those anymore. They're not available. And you're like, yeah, but you're going to find jeans that will work great for you, right? Or you see someone else in the store and you're like, oh my God, I love your jeans. They look so good on you. Where did you get those jeans? And they're like, I found them at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, right? In like a clearance rack. And you're like, gosh darn it, why? Those jeans would look so cute on me. Or maybe when you were in high school, college, your best friend, you were like, I'm going to try on your jeans. And you would wear your girlfriend's clothes. And for some reason, they looked so different on you. And you were like, why do you look incredible in this outfit and I look homeless? I don't understand. Because it's not in alignment with you. Somebody else's outfit will probably never look as great on you as it does on that person. Doesn't mean it's a bad outfit. Doesn't mean that you're bad. Means nothing about either one of you. It simply means it's not the one for you. So I love all of these, here's exactly how I did it, how I did it, how I did it, because I get to pick and choose the things that I like. I'm like, you know what? I love that you do TikToks like this. I love that you have a Facebook group that you do this with. And I love that you reuse that video for YouTube. And I love that you have a podcast. And I love that you're public speaking. And I don't like the cold DMs. And I'm not a big fan of that. But I get to pick and choose which part of these things is going to work best for me. And guess what? It works. Same thing with a nutrition plan, right? I just did a 60-day wellness program. It's not my favorite thing in the world, I'll be totally honest with you. But mainly because there was not a ton of adaptability to it. But what I got to do was, yes, there were lists of foods that were not approved, but there were so many pages of food that was approved that what I like to do is I will take that, all the approved foods, all of the approved things, right, that work. This is in any area. All of the things that work to get me to that destination, I will pick the ones that I want. So I like Brussels sprouts, highlighted that. Ate a lot of Brussels sprouts. Uncured bacon, yes please, right? Salads, check, right? Like more veggies, squash, sweet potatoes, right? Like zucchini boat tacos, right? Like those were delicious with avocado and stuff on them, like so good, right? But I don't ever put myself in somebody else's container because it doesn't work for me. It's like putting on someone else's jeans. They're just not gonna hug you in the right way. You're gonna feel a little bit self-conscious, right? And she's like, oh no, they look great on you. You're like, oh, they don't. Like, it makes me look like I have a really large mom butt. Like, no, I don't want to wear these jeans, right? And so when it comes to creating success in your life, it doesn't matter whose plan you get information from. What matters is, do you enjoy that plan? And is it realistic for you? Right? So another example of this, when I was working on my Ph.D., there were so many of my classmates that made the plan because they worked full time as teachers or whatever. And they said, you know what, I'm going to spend every Saturday for 8 hours in the library writing this dissertation. And I thought, like that? No. Hard pass. No part of me wants to spend 8 hours in the library on a Saturday writing my dissertation. I just don't want to. And I wouldn't do it. It was, no, hard pass. But what worked for me was 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday. That was it. My dissertation, which took me about 2 years to do entirely, I got there sometime, and also faster than some of the people who spent 8 hours in the library on Saturday, right? Took me 2 years to write it for 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday. That was it. That was all of the time that was strictly set to my dissertation. Sometimes I took up the full hour if I was reading and researching, if I was writing. Other times, if I was only editing, it was about 15 minutes. But it was that daily discipline, showing up and moving the meter forward, the marker forward, that allowed me to actually finish my dissertation with a newborn baby. Right? I started my dissertation process, or I finished my coursework rather, took my final exams and everything when I was 36 weeks pregnant with baby number 3. I successfully defended my dissertation when I was 36 weeks pregnant with baby number 4. So it can be done. Did I want to do it faster? Yeah, of course I wanted to finish it faster, but I had to be realistic about what was being expected of me and what else was on my plate. And this is the problem that a lot of people run into. They are not honest with what else is going on with their life, that they think life is just going to stop because they've made this goal. And that is not how life works. Right? My dissertation chair said to me when I finished my coursework, he said, I will not give you an extension for this dissertation. You have 7 years to complete this degree. You've used 3 on coursework. It should not take you more than 4 years to write this dissertation. If you come to me at the end of 7 years and ask for an extension, I'm going to tell you no, because life happens. You've got to figure it out. And that was the best piece of advice that I could have gotten. Like, my entire degree was worth that advice from my dissertation chair. Life is going to happen. How are you going to show up for the thing that you want anyways? Right? So, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I am fired up now. Love this energy, love being here with you. So I am going to finish up the rest of the day, and then I'm going to spend the afternoon with my kids and basketball games and all the things. I'm really excited to check off the other couple of tasks that I need to do today. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions for me whatsoever, you're looking to create success in a particular area, you're looking to find your plan, figure out what will work for you, I would be happy to have that conversation with you. So please reach out to me. Happy to help. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And as always, be big, be bold, and be opulent. Bye, loves.